Hola, this is GF Laserbolt from GamerFusion.com, and welcome to our Destiny Guide, where we're going to be helping you guys become awesome Titans, Warlocks, or Hunter. Whatever class you're going to be, we want you guys to kick butt once you guys get the game. So let's make sure we jump into this topic right now. We're going to be talking about elemental weapon damage. Now, there's 4 different types of elemental weapon. There is arc damage, solar damage, void damage, and kinetic damage. We will go into detail on this video on what the damages are and what are they used for, and how you could become more effective when you play as a team, so you guys can know how to do the raids or how not to, approach different strike missions or approach different levels depending on the type of enemies you'll be facing. So let's dive into this video and find out what these elemental weapon damages are all about. So the first elemental damage we'll be talking about is arc damage. Now, arc damage is this element damage type is related to the electricity and has an area of effect. Blue shields are weak to arc. So most people think when you say arc damage, it means that if you have a gun that has the blue arc damage element, you'll automatically damage all units. Well, this is what I would want to explain to you guys, so you guys get the game, you guys will know exactly what are the advantages of using the arc damage element. Now, a lot of people think, okay, if I activate my, like my blue element arc damage, I'll automatically cause more damage to the unit. And that is not completely true, and it's sort of true. In a sense, it's true only if the unit has a blue shield around it. So you'll be able to notify and be able to be made aware if the unit has arc damage capabilities, if you're able to cause more damage if this unit is surrounded like a blue shield. Now, in the beta, we played a couple people with arc damage, which were considered the captain. If you guys remember, the captains, once you try to shoot him, you get a big protective shield over him, covering him, and that tells you that he has arc damage, which means if you have a blue weapon, or if you're using a Titan class and use one of your grenades that has arc damage, or you use a gun that has arc damage, or you have the Titan slam where you're able to slam on him and use that arc damage, you're going to be able to drop that shield and kill him a lot faster, because the hit amount is only going to be consistent when that shield is up. After the shield is down, if you use your regular shotgun or a regular sniper, the only thing you're going to be able to do is going to do normal damage, which is kinetic damage, which we will go further in this video. Now, the normal damage is just pretty much hits based upon where you guys place these hit markers. If you have a headshot, of course, it's going to be more damage. If you have a body shot, it's going to be less damage. Now, these are normal damages. Now, the arc damage that we're talking about right now is only the blue shield that surrounds the actual unit. So if you notice, throughout the beta, we were able to encounter different people with different elemental damages. Now, the captain had the blue damage. Now, if you were using the Titan class, you would know that effectively you would be able to knock down that shield if you had an elemental arc damage gun. This will be effective only when fighting blue shield guys. You'll be able to know what type of damage it has by by their shield on the outside, or also by the health bar, which is on the tab, which will also be the color of their of their shield, which would be blue, in this case referencing to blue. So if the person has a blue shield or has a blue health bar or shield bar, then you'll know that you're able to use your arc damage. And this will be very effective in raids, because the way you approach raids are going to be very crucial to what types of units you carry and what type of ammo or guns you carry. So arc damage will be a very good thing that we have to be looking out for, what units and how we approach levels based on the shield and how many arc element units are within that map, or within that strike mission, or within that raid. So make sure you guys know arc damage does not equal the amount of damage you cause on the unit, but the amount of damage that's only caused to the unit when their shield is activated, or when they have a blue status, status bar on the top knowing their shield amount. So that damage will only be referenced to that unit that has the elemental of arc. The next damage element we have is the solar damage element. This element is a damage type element that consists of fire. But a cool thing about this damage element is that it also ignites the enemies. What this means is that, let's say you use a grenade and you lob that nade, it'll automatically ignite the enemy. In some cases, when you upgrade your nade, you're able to explode that nade and cause damage within a range or within the enemies that are around that unit. So it's a very effective damage element that you guys could see. And if you guys are able to notice this, because when you guys pick a gun, you'll have that orange look to it, or that orange icon next to it showing you guys that that's a solar damage element. Now, if you guys played the beta, you guys will know that the enemy we had to face with solar damage enemy was the wizard. The wizard was the one that had the orange shield around it, telling us and letting us know that he had solar damage enemies. So if you wanted to defeat the wizard really good in the beta, you would have to have used a solar damage weapon to knock his shield off really quick and finish him off. Because as you guys recall, the like I said previously on the arc damage, is that the solar damage element only consists and only works when you use it against a shield, not the particular. Once the shield is off, you're gonna be using kinetic damage. So once you shoot the gun and knock down his shield, or when you shoot the gun, you'll get a higher amount of number that goes to the damage of that unit, because when you use a solar damage element on a unit that has the orange shield around it. So this is the solar damage element. Alright, so our next elemental is Void Damage Elemental. This elemental consists of gravity and dark energy. If you guys recall, on the beta, the person or the class that had the Void Damage Elemental was the Warlock. The Warlock was able to use this elemental very effectively. If you guys recall, it did consist of gravity, lifting up the enemies high up in the air, or consuming a dark energy. Now, there wasn't many. I don't even think there was actually an enemy unit that had the void damage. I believe Spike might have had it, but I'm not really sure. I think his shield was blue. In effect, it's just portrayed that it was purple just maybe because he had that purple eye. But I don't recall encountering anybody with a void damage element. But I do recall using the rocket, and my rocket had void damage element, and this element will be very effective when we fight other types of enemies that have the void damage. And of course, this is going to be effective only when they have their shield around them. So make sure that when you guys use your void damage, you're using it to knock down the shield or to bring the enemy down when their shield is activated, because this is what it's going to give you the surprise of the element of being ready when it comes time to getting the full launch of the game. You're going to know which elements to use, and this is going to be very effective when it comes to the raids, because you're going to want to strategize as much as possible also with the strike missions to know which type of class you should take for that mission, because once you know the elements, you're going to be able to know how to defeat the enemies better and faster. So this is Void Damage Elemental. So the last damage elemental we're going to be talking about is the Kinetic Damage Elemental. This elemental is your default, your normal, your physical damage that you do on the weapons caused by the different types of guns you have, and also caused by the way head markers that you have. So let's say you shoot someone in the head, it's going to give you a different kinetic damage, as opposed to if you hit someone on the shoulder, or if you use your fist or you kick them. It's going to be very different depending upon the hit that you do or the head marker you do. If you hit someone on the headshot, it's going to give you more kinetic damage, as opposed to hitting someone on the shoulder, or hitting someone on the tummy, or on the belly button, or anything like that, or just straight out punching the lights out of them. It's very different, because the kinetic damage, everybody has kinetic damage. It's just primarily based on the gun you have and the actual pinpoint of that gun and where that gun was shot from. So if that gun is shot from, like a headshot, it'll give you more damage of kinetic damage. And if it's shot, from the torso down, it's going to give you less kinetic damage. So this is primarily the normal damage. We could call it normal, basic, whatever you guys want to call it. But this is primarily the damage you cause on the enemy based on where you shoot the enemy from. So this is primarily like the overall standard kinetic or elemental damage you guys could think of. Now, it's very important, guys, to know all these damage types. The reason is because when we go into raids, or when we go to strikes, or when we increase the difficulty on the game and we play a map over again, and we go in with our friends, it's very important to know the different types of elemental damages and different types of ways we could strategize on playing this game. Now remember, this game is going to be heavily pronounced on being a strategic game of knowing how to approach the level, and also how to complete the level the most way effectively. So it's very crucial and essential for you guys to share with this with your friends in case you guys plan on teaming up, so they can know okay, well, you guys could say, well, okay guys, you're gonna be the warlock. You're going to be the warlock, you're going to be a titan, or let's take 2 titans into the raid mission, let's take 2 warlocks, or let's take 2 hunters, something like that. It's very important that you guys know your elemental, damage types because it's very going to be heavily primarily depending on the enemies you're going to be encountering. Well, I hope this video was helpful, guys, and if it was, make sure you guys leave a comment down below, and don't forget to hit that thumbs up for that like, and definitely going to be bringing you guys more Destiny guide coverage. If you guys want to see something specific, please let me know in the comment section down below. I'll be more than happy to make a video regarding that. Alright guys, this has been GF Laserbolt from GamerFusion.com, reminding you once again, for all things Destiny, head over to GamerFusion.com where we empower your gaming.